Hello, a warm welcome along to today's United Kingdom talk here on United Kingdom Radio. Just gone 3 minutes past 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK on November the 13th, Saturday, November the 13th, 2010. Welcome, boys and girls. On this rather warm, I have to say, it's warm. I think it's warm out, don't you? I'm so pleased. In the last few days, I haven't had the heating on again. I'm saving even more money, which you know I don't like to put the heating on, do you? Eh? Now, can someone please tell me, I heard in the news just then, and I've written this down, what is competitive devaluation of currencies? Can someone please tell me what that is? Competitive devaluation of currencies. I'm not quite sure what that is. Has anyone got a clue what that is? And who does it help? Does it help the ordinary person in the street like me and you? No? Well, just an idea. I've no idea what competitive devaluation of currencies is. So if someone knows, please tell me. Now, you can join us live if you're watching the show live. Check the clock on the main website, unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. Clock's on the right-hand side. If it's now 6 minutes past 3 on Saturday the 13th of November 2010, then you are with us live and you can join in live. There is a Skype that you can join in with. Our Skype username, all one word, is United Kingdom Radio. All one word, United Kingdom Radio. Okay? Very easy. You can either call me, like as in voice-to-voice conversation, or send a little Skype message. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. Skype username, United Kingdom Radio. There's also a phone-in number as well. It's a local London number. I was listening to a presenter the other day who hasn't got a clue what an 020 number is. I don't know what an 020... Oh, I think it's a national... No, it's not. It's a local London number. If you knew anything about the telephone system here in the UK, you would know that 020 is a local London number. Okay? And the phone number is, should you want to dial in, 020 3287 1488. 020 3287 1488. A local... Oh, I don't think... Is it a local... Oh, I think it's a national... No, it isn't. It's a local London number. It's the same as calling a phone number in London. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. That's what it is. Okay? Good morning to Fagash Lil. I'm a bit late. Did I miss match? Did I miss... I'm tripping over on words today, aren't I? I'm tripping over on words. I did that on last show on Thursday. I find great difficulty in saying the word Armistice Day. Anyone have trouble with that one? There are certain words that you trip over, aren't there? Can you think of one that you can trip over? If so, let me know about it on the Skype, United Kingdom Radio, or the phone 020 3287 1488. You can also join in by email, boys and girls, whether you're listening live or listening to a recording. Always feel free to join in by email. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, Fagash Lil says, who cares about the pronunciation of armistice as long as you observe it? As indeed we did. We did our 2 minutes of silence. Thank you very much. Not long enough for those people that died, if you ask me. 2 minutes of silence was done on Thursday. Very good. If you noticed that, I hope you joined in as well. Bills are going up, boys and girls. Who's got British Gas providing their electricity and their gas going up? Is it 9% or 7%? Something like that. Doesn't matter what it is. One or the other. It's going to cost you a whopping £1.50 extra per week. What's going to happen? Eh? How can you afford that? £1.50 a week. What does annoy me, and this is always said on all the other, radio stations and everything. What annoys me is that when we get huge dips in wholesale prices. Okay, I was watching the news channel the other day, BBC News the other day, and at one point, wholesale prices of gas went down 40%. And British Gas, in its wisdom, saw fit to reduce prices by a few percent. I think it might have been as much as 12, I don't know. But it certainly wasn't 40. So why is that? Why doesn't someone in the government step in and blooming well do something about this? We're ripped off left, right and centre in this damn country, aren't we? And I don't understand, and it's always the same, you know, we have this time in, time out, where wholesale prices have gone down a lot, and our prices go down a tiny bit. But the moment the wholesale price goes up, we seem to go up at the same rate. You've only got to look at these profits. I never understand how it is. People are slapping each other on the back because they've made a huge amount of profit. Why is that a really good thing? Why is the entire world now judged on how much money you can make? Why is that? Why can you go to children, teenagers, young adults? What do you want to be in life? I want to be rich. Why? I'm not rich, yet I'm happy enough. Why do you think that being rich makes you happy? I just don't get it. As the Pope said, all that glitters is not gold. Fortunately, I'm not glittering at all. So I'm not gold or silver. You know what I mean, though? Everyone is judged on how much money they have. Or, you know, I mean, you see them. You see some of the girls in the clubs I work at. And when someone tells them what they've got, their little eyes light up quickly. Oh, money. I think it's a shame, isn't it? People going into the music industry to make money. Not because they like to sing, they're going into it to make loads of money, or at least to try. These people on the X Factor, they do like singing, I'm sure. Why do you want to be on the X Factor? Oh, I want to be really famous and rich. What happened to, I like to sing in front of lots of people. Very different. Comments on that, please. All one word, United Kingdom Radio on the Skype, or phone number 020-3287-1488. Email chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Fagash Lil says the service countries are no longer ruled by the government as Maggie sold them all off. You mean the service industries, darling. Sorry. The service industries are no longer ruled by the government because Maggie sold them off. Yes. I was a great fan of Margaret Thatcher. But I did not agree with selling off water, electricity, gas. All these three companies, more than three companies, all these three service industries, because they are service industries, are now run to make profits. Okay? They are not run for the people. And you know, they come on the telly and it's wonderful what a huge profit they've made. Why is that? I mean, it just adds insult to injury, doesn't it? When you see your bills gone up and then the TV people are reporting that the profits have soared for whoever. Now, the one industry, interestingly enough, which was also a service industry, that has benefited from privatisation is the telephone company. Now, I used to work for British Telecom when we were the... sorry, I'm not with them anymore. When they were the only provider of telephones, other than a little place up north called Hull, which had their own system. It was quite expensive to make a phone call. I always remember around the Christmas period when we would all gather around my aunt's house, and at a given time on Boxing Day, a phone call would have been arranged to our cousins in Australia. And I'm going back here. Let's have a think. 93. Probably about 38 years. And it was expensive, really expensive to do that. Now, I could probably go on the phone for 10 minutes to Australia on one of those special calling card things for about 50 pence. There are also lots of other organisations applying for your business to go with them as the telephone provider. The costs of telecommunications in this particular country have plummeted. And believe it or not, it's the same with mobile phones. In this country, we are one of the cheapest places to get mobile phones and telephone calls, believe it or not. And therefore, privatisation of the telephone industry actually worked quite well in the customer's favour. The others, it didn't. Thagash says, we can understand how prices go up, so we'll pay it. But when the prices go down, our prices should go down as well. Yeah, you're right. But they don't, do they? This is what I'm saying to you, Thagash. The gas board, the electric board, the wholesale prices drop quite a lot sometimes. But we don't see that drop. We really don't. All we see is the company, be it British Gas or anyone else, making an even more huge profit next year. And it's wrong. Hello to Mark Stevens, who says, Chris, there are 7 millionaires in the cabinet, so why should they care? Well, yes, you know, absolutely. Absolutely. Lee Mills says, I have £100, but it doesn't last long at all. Well, you're living incorrectly then, Lee. I can make £100 last for ages. Absolutely, yeah. I still think £100 is a lot of money. Mind you, I was at Sainsbury's only Thursday. I had one of my... I didn't think I had that much in the basket. Okay, but it was 50 quid. 50 quid I spent in Sainsbury's on Thursday. I had 3 bags full of groceries, that's all. And unusually, because I kind of get used to the bill being quite expensive when, for example, you start putting cleaning products in there. They seem to be very dear. But there were none of those. It was only food. And I don't eat that much, boys and girls. I'm a little bit overweight, but not too bad at all. So here we are. Any other comments on that? Let me know. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Got to say hello to Yawolak. I think that's your name. Yawolak, who's in Thailand. Who's in Bangkok in Thailand. Brand new listener to the show. Hello, my darling. And she's been talking to me on the Skype as we were chatting away a minute ago. All right. So hello to, I hope I got your name right, Yawolak. Yawolak, I'm guessing that right, in Thailand. Hello, my darling. There's a country I've never visited, Thailand. Not too keen on the whole city thing. I gather Bangkok is a very, very busy place. It's just awful. I like country. Is there anywhere in Thailand I'd like to visit? I should visit, you think? You know, it's got to be like countrified. And it has to be safe. I can't be going to any of those dodgy countries. You know what I mean? Where you get dragged out the car and have your head cut off. Oh, my God. No, thank you very much. Yes. Now, an email has arrived from Ian. Hello, Ian. How are you? And is making comments, boys and girls, making comments about other presenters. How strange that he should feel it necessary to send it to me. Here we go. Ian. Hello, Ian. Who says, good morning, Chris. He actually sent this about a week ago. Are you ready for this? Other presenters on United Kingdom Radio might want to pay attention to this. This is not my comments. This has come from young Ian. Now, pay attention very carefully. You'll wait to hear what maybe I'll make you wait. Shall I read it out in a minute? Shall I? No, I'll read it out now. I'm being cruel now. Good morning, Chris. Why do the other presenters, are you ready about this, other than yourself, feel it necessary to constantly play musical guessing games? Now, you know, it's funny you should say that. I've been wondering that as well. Why is everyone running a blooming competition all the time? Guess this, guess that. Come on, boys and girls. Why do we want to guess bits of music all the time? What's all that about? That's what Ian wants to know, not me. Not me. It says it here in black and white. Why do the other presenters, other than yourself, feel it necessary to play musical guessing games? I don't know. You tell me. He goes on to say, one podcast last week, young Sean, had me listening to fireworks for 25 minutes. Yes, do you know what? Young Sean, let me just get myself comfortable here. Young Sean, who's with us at 5 o'clock UK time, that boy has so much enthusiasm for what he does. He really has. When you listen to that show, he puts so much into that show. My comments on that one, my little comment on your show, Sean. I've noticed when you're on a call and another call comes through, you quickly get rid of call number 1 to take call number 2. Mistake. Okay? Bit of a mistake that. Continue your conversation on call number 1 and offer to call number 2 back. Because it's almost a little bit rude. Not that you're not to know. I know you're only young and all that. Just little teaching bit here, okay? Right, so when you're on the phone, if you're on a call and another one flashes up, don't drop the first call for the second call unless you've finished. Okay? Just continue with your first call, and then if you want, tell them to hold on, or you'll call them back when you finish call number 1. All right? Do not worry about missing people's calls, because people are always happy to call back. They understand you're talking to someone at the moment. All right? Don't worry. And listening to fireworks. Yeah, well, I heard that. I downloaded the podcast and listened to Storm playing the fireworks. He was doing a live event from a firework. But I don't know why, Sean. I was kind of thinking that at some point you were going to start talking to someone out there holding a sparkler or something like that. I do like a sparkler, don't you? I was thinking a bit conscious. Have you ever bought those coloured sparklers? Have you ever bought those? Coloured sparklers. But when you light them, they're not coloured, are they? They're just those pretty little stars. I do like a sparkler, but they're all over and done with so quickly, aren't they? I mean, if I was a real fairy holding one of those sparklers, I'd be out in a puff of smoke in just a few seconds. Sparklers just don't last long enough, do they? Eh? They really don't. Do you have any favourite fireworks, I wonder? Anyone? Do you like the Catherine wheel? Come on, lads. How many people have nailed a Catherine wheel to a tree? And you light the thing and you haven't done it properly and it flies off just about missing someone in the eye. Very dangerous things, dear sparklers. Catherine wheels. And rockets as well. Absolute rockets. Do you like rockets? Yes. I have seen a trick with a firework rocket done in a film called Jackass. Have you ever seen Jackass? Hilarious. It's these lads, and they do stupid things that are really dangerous, like ride down a really, really steep hill on a bike with no brakes. Have you ever seen that? Fireworks. What are your favourite fireworks? Let me know. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Have you ever gone to a really big firework display? They're quite good, aren't they? I always remember going with my dad to one in St George's Park in Wandsworth. It was marvellous. And they had like big speakers and music and all that. It was wonderful. But it's all over and done within half an hour, isn't it? And there were no hot dogs. I can't see the point in going to one of these outdoor events without a hot dog or two. It's all very sad, really. Mark says, Chris, moving off the subject, as one gets older, feet don't grow, hands don't grow, so why do ears? Are you suggesting that my ears are big? Eh? I don't think I've got very big ears, have I? Have I got big ears? Hang on, I've got a tape measure here. I always carry a ruler. There's a tape measure here now. Let me see how big. Has anyone got a tape measure? Let's see today who's got the biggest ears. 1 minute, I'm going to measure mine. Now we do it from side to side. Oh, I haven't. It's going to be quite difficult to do this, isn't it? I'm going to. Where you know where that little bit of skin is, or that, I don't know what it is really. You know, you've got the outside of your ear, and then you've got an inside with a bit that sticks in. Right, go from the bit that sticks into the outside of your ear. And my ear is 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Right, I think that's right. My ear is 1¼ inches. Now, don't start talking in centimetres. It's all rubbish, dear. This is not Europe. I keep telling you, it's the United Kingdom. I am not part of Europe. That's for everyone else. I am British. And that's it. How big your ears, boys and girls? Come on, get your information in. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Righty-ho. Let's go back to this email from Ian and Silver. I'm digressing. He says, on the subject of Lee, Suko and Tom's show, they seem to have more of an idea of how to run a radio show. Yes, they do. Do you want my comments? Oh, okay, then. I won't then. I won't. Ian says, I do have to admit that I enjoy the ramblings of Sean and Stephen, who does all the theories, doesn't he? Stephen does all the theories. Stephen's an interesting guy. He's here on United Kingdom Radio on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock UK time. Okay, that's our watershed, I think, 9 o'clock UK time. And quite frankly, I don't know what planet Stephen's on. There's some very, very strange things he comes out with. I don't think he actually realises he's doing a radio show sometimes. We carry on. It says here, Paul Edwards seems to be always apologising for some of his shortcomings. Yep, that's fair enough. Mike Cullen will never get over the fact that life has thrown him a savage curveball. He deserves more with even less work. Yeah, Mike Cullen does deserve more, actually. Poor old Mike, he wasn't here on... he should have been here Thursday night, and his Virgin Media thing broke down, his internet. So that's why he wasn't here on Thursday. Ian says, don't take these comments too seriously. I'm just rambling on a bit this morning. Like a little bit of rambling on, dear. You always run interesting network, and I am addicted. Thank you very much, Ian. We do run an interesting network, and there is a new boy going to have a go on Wednesday afternoon at 12 o'clock UK time, boys. Oh, there he is. Little Mike's there. At 12 o'clock in the afternoon UK time on Wednesday is Zach Wright, who is in Australia, okay? He's going to have a little go on Wednesday afternoon at 12 o'clock UK time, unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. Okay, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 p.m. UK time on Wednesday is young Zach Wright. Now, Mike says, I've completed a video advert. What's all that about? I hope it's suitable. Oh, don't be sending me anything right now, my darling, okay? Mark says his other half calls him Dumbo. Oh, that's very sad, really. Have you got that massive ears like that? Are you the Mark that's just come back from New York, by the way? I think you might be. If you are, give us a call, because you wanted to talk about that. I think he's just been on holiday in New York there. Okie doke. Have I missed anyone out now? Let me have a look. Lee Mills wishes he could take calls. Yes, we wish you could. You're not really part of the station at the moment, are you? You kind of do this little video thing. Where are you going to come in to the radio? Lee is a very important member. He does all the website and all that. Wonderful. Now, what else has been happening? I have two pieces of bad news today. One, which I'm particularly not proud about. Boys and girls, on my way to work last night, on the motorway, suddenly appearing from nowhere was a small animal. There I am doing 70 mile an hour, right in front of me, and there was a thud under the car. So, not happy about that. It was either a fox, a rabbit, or a cat. Now, it's interesting because this part of the motorway, there's no houses for quite some distance. It can't have been someone's pet cat. I think, however, it looked too small to be a fox. I don't think it was a rabbit because it ran like a fox or a cat. I think it was a cat. So I'm a little bit upset. You know, I think that's the third little animal in 20 years. I'm quite sad with myself about that. Of course, there's nothing you can do. You know, there's absolutely nothing you can do. That appears like that, you haven't got time to do anything. 70 mile an hour. So I have a feeling I ran over a cat last night. So a little bit sad about that. I think I've done a rabbit and another cat over 20 years. All on the motorway. Always on the motorway. Isn't it horrible? Have you ever had the unfortunate accident of doing something like that? Isn't it horrible, though, eh? Poor little cat. I hope it wasn't someone's pet. And the other thing that happened today, in the swimming pool, and I don't usually go on Saturdays, in the swimming pool, few children in there. When the children in the pool, you just have to avoid them, and that's it. And I kind of took off from the end, and all of a sudden, this girl decides to go behind me. Little girl, about 5, 6, maybe 7 years old. She jumped for it, and unfortunately, she jumped onto one of my legs, which had gone up, or one of my feet, which has gone up, and kind of kicked her a little bit in the chest. So I feel quite bad about that today. And, you know, I had already gone. I don't blame the little girl, you know, it's just one of those things that happens. But the mother, you know, gave me such a look, like it was my fault. I didn't say anything, just carried on, ignored her. It's always... And the trouble is, in the swimming pool, these mothers, they do not look where they or their children are going. Most of the time, they reverse, looking straight ahead at the child, and they don't care what's behind them. And, you know, a lot of the time it's their fault. But poor little girl, so I feel bad about that as well today. Something that happens, you know. Oh, well. Another email here. Now, this one is from young Holly. We did have a little email from a couple of shows ago, but I found an old email that I've just been clearing up the emails on the email. Do you ever go back and see what emails that you've missed? Do you ever do that? And I do, you know, and I find ones that I miss. So she says, don't you hate it when something acts up? 2 weeks ago, Holly says, my car... Now, you know what, Holly? When you said your car, I thought, oh, I think you're older than... For some reason, I thought you was a young girl, sort of under the age of 14. I don't know why I thought that. But now you're talking about your car, so you must be a little bit older than I thought, Holly. I thought you was a little girl, you know, who was joining in. 2 weeks ago, my car was being very moody. So I took it in for a checkup and found out that the right head gasket was damaged. What's a head gasket? What does that actually do, then? What does a head gasket do? Can someone tell me, please? Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. What is a head gasket? Don't know what that is. What does it do? Do all cars have one, or just certain cars? Don't know what it is. She says, so I got both left and right side repaired, even though the left side shows no signs of damage. What, the left side of your right head gasket? I don't know, do I? How do I know? Simon, I've got you on hold. I'll be with you in a second. She said, so there went some money I'd saved up. And she loves the end credits with the flowers and the lucky cat. Oh, that's from Holly. Oh, yes, you only see those on the recordings of the show. Unfortunately, you don't see it on the live show. Because I've got a little widescreen camera when I'm doing the live show, and it doesn't work on the software that plays out the films. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Do you want the widescreen picture or the little films at the beginning and the end? So I went for the widescreen picture. Okay, let's have a look. Simon, I'll be with you in just a second. I've got you on hold at the moment, all right? Mike says, a head gasket. Ah, here we are, you see. We've always got someone who knows. There's always someone who knows. A head gasket is a gasket that sits between the engine block and the cylinder head in an internal combustion engine. Still don't know what that means. Its purpose is to seal the cylinders to ensure... What is it? Is it a physical... Is this a physical thing, is it? What's it? Is it a metal thing? He says, its purpose is to seal the cylinders and ensure maximum compression and avoid leakage of coolant or engine oil into the cylinders. So there we are. Now we all know. Do we? I don't know what it is. Has my bicycle got a gasket on it? Is it what's a gasket made out of? That might give me a clue. Also, Mark says, my dad hit a deer once. Blimey, that must have done some damage. When we were out in the countryside, heading towards Derwenside. I got such a shock and I cried when you mentioned the cat. I grabbed our Molly and just held her. I'd hate for anything to happen to my lovely cat. Yeah, how are you getting on with your new cat now, Mike? Is she loving you now? I told you, didn't I? Mike, he's got a new cat. It was a kitten and it hated him. It was really vicious and nasty towards him. And a lot of cats are like this when you first get them. And you have to just let them do what they want to do. Just don't go near them. Don't try and pick them up. Don't try and pet them. Ignore them. Put the food down. Put the water down. But ignore them. Eventually, they will come to you. Once they've come to you, that's it. The bond has been made. I could be a pet advisor. That's what we need on this station. I tell you what we do need on this station is an agony uncle or aunt who can sort people's problems out. Eh? Please tell me who can sort people's problems out. That's what I want to know. Who can sort people's problems out? Do we have an agony aunt or someone like that?
You're trying to reach is
oh, sorry. Oh, we've lost that. Oh, we've lost the call to Simon. Never mind, not to worry. Sorry, Simon, you can call back if you want to. Mark says, head gasket seal the oil from the engine, seals the engine. If the head gasket is broken, it leaks oil. It must be is it a rubber thing? I understand now. Yeah, with two bits, like a washer, like a big washer, yes? You see, I'm quite clever, really. I am clever. Fagash Lil says, I thought we already had an agony uncle on United Kingdom radio. Isn't it you, Chris? Well, maybe. You got any problems? Come to me. I'll sort you out. Apparently, Mike's cat, Molly, is now firing on all gaskets. No pun intended. She's very friendly now that she knows I'm supplying the food. Well, I'm afraid that is a lot to do with it, my friend. Absolutely. Another email here. This is from James. James wrote in on the last show. And says, hi, Chris, I live in Bexley. That's in far southeast London. Oh, yes, I know Bexley. And also the bloke that things were moaning, that things were expensive in supermarkets. We had someone moaning that things were expensive in supermarkets. James says, the problem is that prices are rising quickly. You will probably notice. Yes, I have noticed that. The people that I do feel very sorry for are the people that are on a tight budget. Hoping you're enjoying the weather, from James. Yes, I am enjoying the weather. I didn't have a coat on today. I cycled to the swimming pool in one of my hooded tops and a T-shirt. I might buy some new clothes soon because my some of my clothes are quite a few years old. I don't spend money on. I don't like to waste money waste time walking around shops looking at clothes when there are places like Maplin's to look in. Come on, lads. Who doesn't like to go to Maplin's and just browse? Another shop, we've got a shop in Bracknell now, a gadget shop. Wonderful. Little things that you can play with, not just boring old clothes. Hello to Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan. Hey, can you give me a shout out? I'm Johnny from Jarrow Woo. Jarrow Woo. Great show. Thank you, Johnny. You're not Johnny Woo, are you? Could be Johnny Woo. Johnny from Jarrow. Hello, Joey, who loves... We love Maplins. Maplins, for our American friends, is a bit like Tandies. Sorry, Tandies. No, you call it... what do you call it? Radio Shack. Maplins is very like Radio Shack. Now, we did used to have our own version of Radio Shack here in the UK, and it was called Tandy. But it was bought out by, of all people, the Carphone Warehouse, I think. They don't sell all those bits and pieces anymore. But we do have Maplins. I love going in Maplins. Good morning to Sean, who also loves Maplins. We all love Maplins, believe me. We do. Okay. Now, Faglishliel says, can you sort out my teenage son who has made me miss half the show? Yes, I can. Lock him in the room and don't let him out for a week. Then he'll never do it again. I don't, you know, a good thrashing, that's what he needs, Faglishliel. There's nothing... That's what these children need, a good thrashing. You're not allowed to do that anymore. That's what the problem is. All this old palaver, all this old rubbish about, oh no, you've got to talk to them. No, you don't. Just hit them. That's it. Good slap round the face. That's what he needs. Eh? He says, nice try, but that's what he does to me. What sort of house are you? Are we like to see you on the Jeremy Kyle show with your son? Is he listening? Son beats out mother. Beats up mother on a regular basis. And then we can cut to the picture of your son sitting there, you know, in his tracksuit bottom that has never been washed and a white tracksuit top and one of those stupid hats on that they think they look good in. Mark says, you talk about your clothes, you always look smart, you don't need an expensive label to look good. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. These shirts are quite a few years old now. I rotate them. You must know that. You must know that. Right, another email here then. This is from Lisa. Hello, Lisa. And Lisa says, Dear Chris, she's talking about the show we did a couple of days ago about college fees and expenses. What a truly important and dire issue you have raised here. Thank you. Thank you, Chris, for raising this issue on the show. This is a problem that should have been resolved by all the so-called modern industrialised countries long ago. The fact is, the only ones to really reap the rewards of a well-educated student population, other than the students themselves, are the many governmental agencies and the countless big businesses and corporations the world over, who will be the students' future employers. She goes on to say, so why is it that these very same future employers have not been made to be responsible for paying for the education, degrees and credentials that they, corporations and government agencies, demand of their future employees? Yeah, I don't understand. You see, I feel it's a lot of the companies, and they don't want to run these. What is it called when you're a young boy or a young adult, I should say. When you're a young adult, not scholarships. When you go to a company and they train you up and pay you at the same time. I can't remember what that's called now. It's not scholarship. Someone tell me what that was called. You could go to a company and the company would have so many places. I think Johnny Cool might be coming. Apprenticeship. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Jolly. Apprenticeship. When I was much younger, we had apprenticeships. Companies would have X number of places and you would go to work for the company and learn the job, and then you would have a job with that same company after they taught you. Now, a lot of companies now, it was like that with British Telecom. When I worked for British Telecom, okay, now I didn't actually have the qualifications, so I kind of went in the back door and went in as an operator. Once you were in, you could transfer across, okay? And for 6 weeks, when I transferred to the engineering section, for 6 weeks, they said, right, you go out with that man there. His name was Mickey Beard. Great bloke. Wonderful bloke to work with. And he took me out in his little van, and I watched him do his job and learnt like, that's how I learnt. Like an apprenticeship. Now, companies used to have this. So I'm not quite sure how all these apprentices stopped. And now companies seem to look to employ people from university. So kind of the onus has come away from the companies to teach these people and has gone on to the universities. And now they don't want to pay for it. See what you're saying here, Lisa. See what you're saying. let's have a look here. They have been reaping rewards and paying little to nothing. She's talking about the companies. This is Lisa in California. They offer the rare and few scholarships only to very particular areas of study, but they are like drops of water in an endless sea. It is really quite absurd to see how little the government agencies in the USA and big businesses, corporations pay out in relation to how much of the big rewards they reap from these many students of the USA, UK and other industrialised nations which they rely upon. Why or how it became the norm for middle and already low-income students to have the sole responsibility of paying for the ever-increasing college expenses of universities is mind-boggling to me. Did the slaves precious to Civil War era in the USA, working the fields for the big businesses, farming industrial leaders, have to pay for the cost of planting their slave masters' crops? Or pay for their own training before they would be allowed to get out onto the field to pick crops or receive their food rations? Hell no, she says. So it's literally come to the point that we, the people of the USA, of the middle and underclasses, are being treated in some ways more inequalitably, that's it, inequalitably, than the slaves of precious Civil War era. It's disgusting and shameful. For all of the boasting of the USA these many years since the Civil War, the truth is there is little, in fact, that is proof of anything resembling better, free, liberated, or just an equal. The truth is we are the people of the USA, that is, those previous forefathers of the USA may as well have stayed put in England. We are no better treated, and we have little to nothing to show for all the fighting, etc., that brought about America to begin with. What is worse, the UK still has better tea, medical services, air quality, and for that matter, quality of life in general too. That's interesting you say that. That's very, very interesting you say that. Hello, Simon. We lost you earlier. Can you hang on a minute, mate? I'll be with you in a second, all right?
Oh, yep.
Okay, Simon. She says, oh, and speaking of the tea, the Tea Party of the USA is a potentially dangerous growing group of Americans who have been, primarily unknown to themselves, manipulated and brainwashed by a continuing bombardment of propaganda of mainstream right-wing conservative and other media to attack primarily the Liberal Democrats and the current Democratic President of the USA, President Obama, as if they are Satan's minions, while they, the Tea Party leaders, boast, brag and defend ruthlessly that same Republican conservatives who have gained the most financially and politically from the recent corporate bailouts and corporate welfare programs, not to mention all the big money, big businesses, defence contracts that such politicians, and she names some, and many other Republicans, conservatives of top rank in the USA have been joining exclusively. It's quite a long email, this. Simon, you want to come in on any of this stuff we've just been doing? Simon's on Yellow White. Hello.
Yeah, I was moaning about Talk last week, wasn't I? And they got their own back this week because my connection's been terrible.
Oh, Talk. Right, okay. I'll come to you in a second. Let me just finish this email, Simon, all right?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, mate. Lisa goes on to say, this means that somehow the Tea Party members are defending the very men that cause their woes while attacking the various other parties and entities that were created many years ago to help them not to be put in the dire positions that they have found themselves in today. Ironic? It sure is. It is almost laughable, actually. At least it would be if it weren't so very sad. Most in the USA have no clue who really has made the most profit from the so-called War on Terror since September the 11th, 2001. They also don't know just how much money was reaped from the recent bailouts from their fellow Tea Party bigwigs. They're being used like puppets when someone's hand up their bums, saying whatever the Tea Party high-ups please, not bothering to seek out truthful information for themselves. All the while, they are doing more harm than good for themselves and for all middle and low-income people of the USA. It may very well be that President Obama is not to be trusted. It is true, he has yet to follow through with his promises to his fellow party members who helped elect him into office. However, he is not the main problem, says Lisa here. He is not the only person that deserves blame for how wrong everything is here and now. He is just the man expected to clean up a mess he inherited from the previous greedy, manipulative, deceptive administration of the not-so United States of America. When everyone in the Tea Party and in the entire USA wake up to the fact and admit, if allowed to all, we all will be much better off and much more capable of fixing the problems of America and America's economy swiftly and efficiently. She says, OK, Chris, stepping off my soapbox for now. Best wishes to all, and that's from Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. That's a very, very long email there. Did you get all of that, Simon?
Oh, yes, I did. It's all heavy stuff, isn't it?
Oh, dear, that was a heavy one. We don't usually do that sort of thing, Simon.
No, I was going to say 1.5 inches.
You got your ears are 1.5 inches?
Yeah,
Let me have a look.
not all that time ago. I actually measured them, but I've been having troubles with the internet. But it all seems a bit superfluous now after that heavy political conversation.
I think that's about right, actually. Do you know, I'm looking at my face in the camera in front of me, and it's all gone red. I've got a red face this morning, or this afternoon. My face has gone all red. Someone said to me last night I had a lot of colour in my face.
Is it that long political speech? That's what it is, full of hot air.
Tell us your talk troubles then, my old mate.
No, I just thought I'd use their service to sort of slag them off. Really, I'm just totally fed up with them. I know someone else on the Isle of Wight's been having the same sort of trouble, and they've been trying to get away from them. But
right, let me ask you a question then. So, how long have you had trouble with Talk?
Oh, quite a while, really. Quite a few months. It's never been brilliant, really.
How long have you been with them?
Well, this is going to make myself sound really silly now, but hey, I don't care. I was actually silly enough to what's the word? To take the thank you, little Callumsy, renew my contract with them because I desperately needed a wireless modem. And of course, you can go to Argos or anything and buy those, but in the heat of the decision, they were offering me a free modem, so I took them up on it. But I say I must be mad because the service they provide is terrible.
So why are you still with them?
Well, because rather sillily, I sort of tied myself up into this 18-month contract. I think it takes a lot of getting out. You can buy yourself out of it, can't you? But I don't particularly want to do that.
How long has that got to run for?
About June next year, I think.
June next year. So you know what to do in June, don't you?
I certainly do.
All right. Even if they sort it, it sounds to me like they've mucked you about left, right, and centre. Even if they now sort it out. When it comes to June, you remember what you've just said to me and cancel the contract. I tell you what, when I have problems with companies, whoever they are, I give them one chance, sometimes two. After that, I get rid of them. End of story. I remember I had a terrible problem with the 3 telephone network. You know them?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Right,
yeah.
when they first came up and, they were by far the cheapest. I mean, really cheap. I think the bills worked out to about. I'm with Orange, okay. Their bills worked out to about 1/3 of what my Orange bill was coming to. So I got a phone from them, and it wasn't perfect signal everywhere. It certainly wasn't anywhere near as good as the Orange one. However, for the money, I thought fair enough. I'll put up with that, right? But when the phone went wrong, it was nigh on impossible to do anything about it.
Mm.
And I've spoken about this a couple of times on the show. They were an absolute nightmare to deal with. They were one of the first companies to have call centres abroad. Now, I don't care who I talk to, all right? But the fact is, when your call's going through to another country, they can do sweet FA about it.
That's right.
They don't seem to be able to sort out. One side doesn't know what the other side's talking to, and it was one of the worst, if not the worst, aspects of customer services I've ever come across. I've had a few other bad experiences with other companies, but as you're talking about mobile telephones at the moment, that's mine with you. And eventually I went. Now, when they realised I was gonna leave, this bloke, and he was in India, it sounded like he was almost on his knees, begging me to give them another chance. Absolutely begging. Please, sir, please. But, you know, by now, I'm fed up and I weren't having none of it. So I closed the contract. You think that would be the end of it? Oh, no. Bills continued to come.
Oh, dear.
Bills continued to come. I'd have one letter telling me I was £12 in credit. We will send you a cheque. And then there'd be another letter the next day telling me I owed them £5.
I know.
And then the phone calls start. You get the phone calls. And do you know how I got how I stopped doing the phone calls? Do you know how I stopped them doing that?
How do you?
No, I bet, hello. And you know, you knew it was straight away because you get that foreign accent. Hello, is that Mr. Reardon? As soon as I said that, I went, and then, sorry, sir. And I was speaking, that's all I said. I just kept talking like that. They hung up. They never rang back.
That's the way to do it then. They probably thought, oh, is that Chris Reardon talking that usual rubbish again?
Yeah, exactly. Just like one of his shows. But listen, Simon, I'll be really disappointed with you if you get to June and you haven't gone elsewhere. It may be...
I only went with TalkTalk because they seem to be top of a lot of these comparison site, you know, sort of ratings.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really go with them just because they were cheap. But
we all have...
I make it my life's mission now to disrespect them, to use a modern term.
We all have... You know, we all have bad experiences. There are probably maybe someone listening or watching the show now who has had a very good experience with Carphone Warehouse. I don't know. But you've had a bad experience. You've shared that with us. I had a terrible experience with 3. I cut that and I swore I would never, ever go with them again. And I haven't.
Before I go, Callum wants to say hello.
Hello, Callum. How are you?
Hi, thank you.
Callum, we're still waiting to see you on the telly on the what's that the snooker program, whatever it is.
Used to be Pot Black, didn't it? I don't think it's still going.
Yeah, is Pot Black? Was that snooker or was that billiards?
No, it's definitely snooker.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Who was the famous commentator for that as well? Wasn't there?
Oh, I'm hopeless with names, so I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Callum, how's the snooker going? All right.
Yeah, fine, thank you.
You keep practicing. I want to see you on that telly.
Yeah.
And give me a shout out when you're on there.
Yeah, okay.
All right. See you, Callum.
Bye.
Thanks for calling in there, Simon.
Okay, cheers.
Pleasure to talk to you. Bye-bye now. There we are, Simon, and his problems there with talk there. Fag Ashley says, when does Simon's show start? No, Simon isn't doing a show yet, I'm afraid. Simon is not doing a show, and Fag Ashley reckons cheap is not always best. Well, I don't know, unless you pick me to do something for you, Fag Ashley. Then cheap will be will be best, I think. She says, right. I've got a couple of messages coming in. I'm getting a little bit confused with these. Let's have a look. Here we go. Johnny Call up north here says, I have had no problems at all with TalkTalk, and I've been with them for 2 months. Apart from paying BT £95 for them to put the line in, but apart from that, fine so far. So there we are. Someone who has had a good experience with TalkTalk there. Okay. The thing is with the when you have TalkTalk or someone like that, when something goes wrong, you see TalkTalk rent part of the line from BT, and kind of one half starts blaming the other, and it all becomes very, very confusing, really, when you're not quite sure of what's going on there. You know, where is the fault down the line? You'll get BT blaming TalkTalk, and TalkTalk will blame BT or whoever happens to be your line provider. There are, of course, many other providers other than TalkTalk. There's Sky. You know, Sky are doing phones, aren't they? Virgin, I've got a Virgin phone here. But touch wood, you know, I've never really had any problems with it at all. Okay. Oh, there we are. Callum's sending us a message telling us the internet is playing up. Don't worry, Callum. We got your message in there loud and clear. All right. Don't want to miss any messages, so I'm all over the place now, aren't I? Johnny says, I had a problem with Sky Broadband. I gather, is Sky stopping their broadband? I'm sure I saw an item on the news the other day that said they're not going to do the broadband anymore. Is that right? Oh, well, I don't know. Right, don't forget, boys and girls, a new presenter for you on Wednesday, someone having a little bit of a tryout, is Zach Wright. He's in Australia. 18 years old, and he'll be doing a show for us on Wednesday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time. He's the only guy who's on that, actually, on Wednesday. Right? Wednesday, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time, is Zach Wright. Nearly time for me to go. Tom Harris is straight after me at 4 o'clock UK time. If you want to join in at any time on the old email, okay, you don't always have to be with us live. If you want to send an email any day of the week, please feel free to do so. It's Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Right, Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. See you Tuesday at 11, okay? Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.